If you find yourself with a camera in your hand and want to learn how to use it, please subscribe to this channel, like the videos, comment below. And now you've got that framework. So now you can go do 1,000 things that you've never done before. Hi Photons family, today we're talking about learning and how exciting that can be when we nail something that we have been working on. Frameworks that we've been discussing and the topic of learning and how that all fits into our detailed orientation of getting our camera in hand, dialing in the ISO, the shutter speed, the aperture, and knowing the composition we have that we want to nail. It can be pretty exciting. It brought to mind this thought, this idea of the overwhelming emotion involved in, yes, I got that image that I was looking for and I had in my head and now it's in a picture and I love it. I've got several of those. The elation, the exhilaration of being able to put something on paper or have it printed on paper that was first in our heads is really incredible for an emotion. Do you remember the book, the character, the Pygmalion, which we all may know from the Broadway, and I understand that there was a book called Pygmalion that was required reading for many years in school. The Broadway, that was first on Broadway, written by George Bernard Shaw, I believe, that went live on stage in 1913. The 60s thing that came out was a movie which Audrey Hepburn starred in, and that was done in 1964 called My Fair Lady. And prior to that, interesting a little bit of history here for a moment. In 1748, Jean-Philippe Rameau was writing a novel, and I don't know exactly the name of it. Maybe it was Pygmalion, but there was a character in his opera that he wrote in 1748 that was called Pygmalion. A George Barnard, I believe, that in 1779 also wrote a Broadway or single character portrayal, and Pygmalion was either the name or the character of that production as well. So anyway, from the mid 1700s, it's fascinating that it evolved in the late 1700s and then was picked back up in the early 1900s in 1964 to be produced as a movie. But that movie, My Fair Lady, which Audrey Hepburn at that point in the movie, having done well with what she was being taught by the professor of language and being able to form the vowels properly and to be able to speak with clear diction without the hint of accent from the area in which one grew up, hearing those accents natively of the smaller areas. Sometimes even within neighborhoods, you heard one thing pronounced or another, or maybe even a range of things pronounced a way that only that area of people knew. Sometimes because they didn't have opportunity to range or go see things outside the neighborhood all that much. The elation that you see here in Eliza Doolittle in this play that is produced as a movie from George Bernard Shaw's Broadway production of 1913 into the 1964 production of My Fair Lady. The elation of Eliza Doolittle is so complete, and she is so exhausted from having worked so hard at being able to form her vowels properly and to efficiently enunciate the consonants, that when she did it right and she got the acknowledgement of having done it right, she was over the moon. The elation was there that, yeah, you are right. This isn't just done, it's done well. That is what we experience as photographers. When we see it, we go, yes, that's what I wanted. And then we show it to people, whether it's family, friends, or acquaintances, others in the profession, and they go, oh yeah, that's neat. But what's really good is when the people that we want to sell that photograph to or other things, they go, I love that photograph. Can I have that photograph? Can you print it for me? And you get to choose how it's printed for them, the medium, the size, and everything else, to where they can display it proudly in their home or wherever they want it displayed. Maybe you've had some things printed other prestigious places. We would love to hear about that in the comments. But the detail of how you executed it, knowing that you could do it again if you wanted to, just causes us to have such a sense of gratification and accomplishment that we are elated and we are over the moon with how that worked out, that you kind of get a glimpse of that and you kind of relive that, or at least I do when I see something like that, such as in My Fair Lady. What I want to be able to share with you in these videos of how I do what I do and how I can achieve that without even telling you the camera settings, that you can go in and see something either I've done or others and go, okay, so roughly they're using these settings, and the light, whether they're shooting outside, whether it's ambient light, that's, you know, the light existing in the current atmosphere around them, or if it's light specifically set up to show one direction or another, and that you can then go and duplicate the rough detail and then be able to slowly bring one tiny setting in or change the light direction and accomplish the thought process, the look, the intentionality of that photograph into making it your own. And then you can duplicate that over and over again because you know how it works and what details affect what part of that photograph. That's all we've got for today, but I loved the idea of the raw emotion and what she says in the song. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the audio. I would love to be able to get the audio here for you, and I don't want to mess up Audrey Hepburn singing it. But the phrase is, I could have done 1,000 things I've never done before. That phrase brings into light the elation, the emotion of I did it right. I can do anything now. And in that, I guess, poetic way of saying it, I could have done 1,000 things I've never done before. And really, that is true, but the elation is there to demonstrate that because she's now learned a framework that she could put those other 1,000 things into. And that's the desire I have for you in showing with you this framework that I have been working on, and it's made sense to me finally now to be able to put it out in a digital format, in a PDF for y'all, is the framework I've been working on and I've been able to narrow down and has helped me launch directly into the properly executed thought I have for a photograph, and put that out into a digital format and then print it physically if it needed to be, is exactly that way. Now that you have a framework, you can go look at other things and you can pull into what the photographer did. You can generally rough out their camera settings. You could figure out the direction of their lighting, the intensity of it, if they modified it, if it was direct lighting and unfiltered. And now you've got that framework. So now you can go do 1,000 things that you've never done before. Thank you so much. Give us a thumbs up on the video. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, we would love to add you to our Photos family. Thank you so much. God bless.